It can be one of the most exciting times of your life, getting the acceptance letters to college. Well, if you're lucky, you have a few different offers from which to choose. So how do you find out where to get the most help financially? Jordan Goldman is a founder and CEO of Unigo.com, which specializes in getting students and parents ready for college. He's joining me right now. All right, Jordan, good to see you. So what's the first step in evaluating the college offers?
So a lot of families, they've now gotten in, and they're moving on to the next part, which is how do I pay for this? And it's a legitimate concern. The cost of college since 1975 has gone up more than 250%. And in 1975, about 35% of students needed to take out additional student loans in addition to what the school gave them. Today, that's 65%. So families are saying, how can I handle this increased financial burden? One of the most important things we tell them to do is work with an expert. So normally when you're doing your taxes, you'd work with an accountant, someone who knows how the process works. We recommend you do the same thing here. On Unigo.com, we actually offer free 15-minute phone calls, and we'll match people up with college counselors who can help them with the financial aid process and help them figure out what are all the loopholes, how can you get as much money from each college as possible.
And then sometimes you have to know what to ask for, and that's the problem. A lot of parents and teachers don't even know the lingo, how to decode all of this, all of these offers and what's available to them.
Yep, that's exactly it. Every college, when they give you their financial aid offer, the form looks different. They have different numbers, different terms in different places. One of the things we recommend is you literally sit down and make a graph and say, how much does school X give me for a Pell Grant? How much does school Y give me for a loan? So you can compare everything side by side. The next really important thing is people don't realize most schools have at least a one-time financial aid reevaluation policy, which means in practice, at one time, but you can go back to them and say, you know what? The money that you gave me isn't enough. I need a little bit more. Or school X gave me $10,000 more than you did.
Oh, my gosh. It's like negotiating your credit card, percentage, APR, right?
Exactly. And people don't treat it that way. And if you don't, you really miss out. Treat this like a negotiation. Call the school. And you can let them know a family member got laid off, or I'm helping to support my grandparents, or I have a brother or a sister in college. All of that stuff actually does weigh for you, getting more financial aid. You just need to bring it to the college's attention.
Okay, and so, yes, you can use a professional just as you offered, but then sometimes you just need to deal with the financial aid or the administrative office at the university or college directly?
Yeah, exactly. You can't be afraid to pick up the phone and call. Another thing you can do is a lot of schools offer merit aid in addition to the scholarships and loans that they gave you. But those are programs that you have to apply for. They won't just give it to you. You have to look for it. So if you go on meritaid.com, there's a list of all these schools that offer merit aid, and you can go and apply, and you can find yourself with $5,000, $10,000 more. There's also a website called projectonstudentdebt.org. There are a group of colleges, including some big names like Harvard, Princeton, Stanford, who have come up with some really innovative ways to pay for college. So Project on Student Debt shows you some of these schools and what you have to do.
What are some of the examples?
What's that?
Yeah, what are some of the examples of what you would have to do?
Yeah, so like one quick example is Harvard has a program now where if your family makes under $180,000 a year, you qualify for this program, where the cost of going to Harvard is only going to be 10% of your family's annual income. So depending on what your family makes, that could make Harvard cheaper than some state schools. But a lot of people don't know they have this program. So if you go on Project on Student Debt, you can see all these schools that have all these programs you can try to get into.
And that's really smart information to know even before you apply, say for the next round, because so many people would be interested in a certain college or university, but they won't even apply because they figure I'm not going to be able to afford it. So essentially you're giving them the formula, go ahead and apply to those places, figure out the money thing later.
Exactly. And I mean, I think more and more people need to be really scrappy about paying for college. They can't look at the financial aid offer they get as the be-all and end-all. They need to look at that as a starting place. This is where I'm going to start negotiating, and then this is the number that I'm going to supplement with grants and scholarships and merit aid. I mean, another thing with scholarships, a lot of people will assume that by the time you've gotten in, it's too late to apply for scholarships. That's not the case. So go on scholarshipamerica.com or go on fastweb.com. There's still plenty of scholarships you can apply for. You can also ask the school. There tends to be scholarships that you can only get as a freshman or sophomore or junior or senior in college. And a lot of these are, again, $5,000, $10,000. So you can say to a school, how can I supplement the amount that you gave me, not just now, but over the next 4 years? And I've seen people get an extra $50,000, $100,000 over their 4 years, which really takes down the cost of going to some of these expensive schools.
Oh, that's fantastic. Jordan, you're offering a whole lot of encouragement, because I know folks are, they get really stressed out over those numbers and figures even after they get the relief of finally getting an acceptance letter. Jordan Goldman, thank you so much. Unigo